Here is another box fan that I got a bunch of years ago and haven't really used much. It's a Toastmaster, McGraw Edison, 115 volt, 60 cycle, AC only, model 5331, and it pulls 1.5 amps. So this is, I believe it's a 16-inch model. Let's verify. Yeah, it's a 16-inch model, and it appears to have the same motor, at least in terms of physical size, that we used in the larger models. It looks comically large on this particular fan, although the windings must be different because this only claims to pull 1.5, whereas the full-size 20-inch ones are probably somewhere around 2.1, I believe. I have to check on that to be certain. This thing was very poorly cleaned at one point, which kind of makes you wonder how thoroughly disgusting this truly was at some point. The motor is just absolutely caked. This is very, very high hours and is in desperate need of cleaning. A much better job was done on the front of the blade. Actually looks halfway decent, but we'll still get it much better. This kind of seems like it might have been used in a garage or some kind of environment like that, because it's got that not just thick household dust, but that kind of slimy grime on there. I don't like these motors. These used a very small shaft. Looks like it may be a 1/4-inch shaft on this thing, which is really kind of abysmal for the size of the blade. And these were not known to have the greatest bearings, which is too bad because the blades on these are really cool, especially the round ones on the 20-inch models. They look really neat while they're in operation. So this one, I don't really remember even how this runs. If it runs good, I want to try to use it in the windows here. I have a dilemma with the windows in this house. They're too small to fit most fans that would move any decent amount of air. And this one will not fit in the window either, but if I at least balance it on the edge of the sill somehow, it should be kind of within the bounds of the opening, whereas a 20-inch, the top couple inches is blocked by the window. This is kind of an unusual shape. It's not perfectly square. This is not being filmed with a fisheye lens. It's no illusion. The edge of the fan is not straight. I don't know if I have a straight edge down here. I got a box. Let's see. This box is fairly straight. It's just ever so slightly not straight. It's like that on both sides. And then the top and the bottom are straight. Kind of rounded the corners, I guess. This has got some age to it. This probably dates back to sometime in the 60s, would be my guess. This is definitely an older model. It has the spring-loaded guard clips, which are a brilliant design. It's a 3-speed. And somehow this handle is still good. The cord I don't think is original, or at least the plug I don't think is original. This looks like a aftermarket, if you will, plug that somebody put on there at some point. It is a General Electric plug. I don't think so that this is original. The cord itself looks to be original. It could probably fare to be replaced because it does look like there is starting to be some degradation in the form of slime right where it comes out of the fan. I think it's actually starting to crack too, isn't it? Yep. It's starting to crack, so we need to replace this cord because it's not in good condition anymore. But it probably is the original cord. So that's fine, we'll replace that. It's easy enough to do. And there's some electrical tape on there, which might have been done by the person that haphazardly cleaned it. The switch is all boxed in there, so we can't really see what the connections are like. I got this at the Habitat for $15. It's comical. Just about everything in that store is $15. It's rare to find something priced any differently. Alright, so I'm having second thoughts about plugging this in after seeing the condition of the cord here. But we're going to go for it anyways. And the worst that can happen is the circuit breaker trips out. So right now we are testing with 117.6 volts. Nothing happened yet, so I think we're going to be in the clear to get through the video. If there was a catastrophic problem with that cord, we would have encountered it by now. Okay, we'll go over to the amps and we'll start this up on the low. So hopefully the bearings are not shot in this thing. That's a common problem with these, what do you call it, McGraw Edison things. That's got a nice slow low to it. It's moving a very gentle breeze, but the breeze is traveling a good amount away from the fan. It's pretty wide, and it's very quiet. That's how a fan should be. Power information is 0.81 amps, 56 watts, with a power factor of 0.59. Now there's a lot of vibration. I can feel the table vibrating. Not so much like an out of balance vibration. It actually seems to be in pretty decent balance, but it's just like a motor vibration. These are cheaper motors, so what do you expect? Alright, let's go to the medium. Wasn't much of a difference in speed there. This might be one of those ones that needs to run for a while to warm up before it gets to full speed. Now we have 0.99 amps, 72 watts with a power factor of 0.61. Very, very quiet. And now the high. I suspect it's going to really take off on high. Here it goes. Wow. Okay. This moves some air. I thought I remembered this being pretty powerful. I think you should be out of the wind stream over here. So it runs super nice. The balance is perfect. It is a perfect balance. And that's probably the only reason why these cheap bearings are still any good. It is so quiet. And it's whipping the air around. I really like this fan. This is a great fan. Alright, power information. 1.53 amps, 123 watts, with a power factor of 0.67. I hear a little bit of rattle. something out of the bearings, but nothing crazy. Especially considering the number of hours that this thing has on it. Yep, all the way back over here. Still feel plenty of air. And it is so quiet. Wow. That is exceptionally quiet. This is fantastic. And it's running so smooth, I'm very, very surprised. And you can feel a tremendous amount of air rushing into this fan. This moves a very high volume of air. Switch it off now. And I think we're going to find that even though it probably has never been oiled, it's still running pretty free. It is stiff. It's on the stiffer side, but it's still pretty free. It should spin for much longer than that. Alright, well, this works and it performs really nice. So this is definitely one that we're going to work on this summer. We'll clean it up, service the motor, get the bearings oiled up, and I think I'm going to use this quite a bit.